Well, hello there, and today we have the man, the myth, the legend, Maccem. How's it going, man?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good as well. Playing plenty of GeoGuessr, already gone horrific 50-50s as always, and just having fun, having fun
Yeah,
playing the game as always. So, yep, I mean, it's quite a while since Stockholm now, like how many months now? Like 3 months
yeah,
almost? It's
yeah,
crazy how much
yeah.
how much it's
I'll
flown,
see.
hasn't it?
I'll
Yeah.
see how much I'll remember from my from my games, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that'd be a good memory test for sure. How did you find the experience of, going to Stockholm and meeting everyone for the first time, as well as, playing against your opponents, and also just being part of the audience on the final day? Like, how was the entire experience?
Yeah, it was such an incredible experience, honestly. Just like meeting everyone was probably the best part. It wasn't the first time I met everyone. There was the Paris World Cup the year before where I met like Kodiak and Blinky but yeah, it was still incredible just meeting so many cool people. And yeah, the whole event was so well put together and just like, yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, but also like the travel. Like, you live in Stockholm. Do you live in Sweden,
No,
don't you?
I live in Lund in the far south, but I took the train actually up to Stockholm.
Yeah, you
About 4 hour train.
4
but
hours. Damn, that's longer than my flight.
to be, it's a long country, but yeah, it was. I actually took the flight home because there were track works, unfortunately, that day. So I had to fly to Copenhagen and then take the train back to Sweden again.
Yeah, a lot of people underestimate how long Sweden is as well. So like, even though
Yeah.
like it might seem like you've got the easiest, quickest journey, but in reality, the train's probably taking longer than the planes. From like,
Yeah.
I think mine took like 2 hours
Mm.
from UK, and then I got on to, I think it was it was like I forgot what the airport was called, but it was like the private like was it a tram or was it a train? I don't remember. One of the two things. But
Yeah.
it probably took me like 3 hours to get to my hotel. From
Right.
getting onto the plane and getting to Stockholm. Obviously, I need to get to the airport first, so technically it would
Yeah.
add up. So,
Hmm.
but
Have to be there like an hour earlier and
yeah,
things too, probably. And
yeah. I
yeah.
was I was like 4 hours early, so I had to like wait an hour and a half before I could actually
Oh.
go through security. So I was
Yeah.
making sure. Um,
That's the nice part about trains that it just takes you to the central and then you're right there in the middle
yeah.
of Stockholm.
Hopefully not like the UK trains that would barely ever turn up and always cancel.
Yeah. Yeah, this was on time, more or less.
Yeah, yeah, much better than us for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, like when you got to Stockholm, like what was the very first thing you did? Did you get there in the evening, or like what was the first thing you did?
I actually got there. Yeah, I actually got there like 5 minutes before we were supposed to meet up in the hotel lobby. 10 minutes late, and they booked me on the last possible train. So I basically had to run to the hotel, throw my stuff in my room, and then run back down. And then we all went over to GeoGuessr HQ for the meet and greet, and that was very cool. Meeting all the devs, meeting everyone for the first time, and meeting just yeah, mingling and having a good time.
Yep, nice, and they have quite a good view as well from their office, don't they? Like a really good view of Stockholm. I think I saw
Yeah,
the Twitter. Was it the Twitter
yeah,
post?
yeah, like right over the central Stockholm,
Yeah.
downtown, pretty much.
Did you? So like, what happened after had the meeting? What was the next thing that happened on the day?
So then we all went to this restaurant with very like traditional Swedish cuisine, and
Nice.
yeah, I think everyone enjoyed it, and it was nice just again speaking to more people and having a meal together and things. And then we went back to the hotel after that, and that was day one.
Awesome. And yeah, I think everyone who mentioned about the meal loved the meatballs.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it must have been proper good for sure. And
Yeah.
so after the first day, was the next day like what happened the next day? Was it a shooting day before the event?
Right, well, it was a while ago. Which was the next day. It was probably that was the media day, must have been. So I
Okay.
think we started the day down in the hotel lobby where they had like this media room where they basically just introduced this is where you're going later, pretty much, and gave us some goodie bags and some merch and stuff. And then we all went to the venue where we were Space Arena where we were gonna play then following day. And we got to like get accustomed to the computers and things. There wasn't the same computers we were gonna play on, but with the ultra saturated screens and uh, but yeah, it was nice. And then they brought us in like a couple people at a time to the media room back at the hotel to have our photo shoot and our interviews that were gonna be played before the games. And yeah, then we went. Yeah, so most of the day was at Space Arena, just practicing pretty much, mostly against each other. And a few journalists there as well who uh, interviewed us and got a hold of us when they could, pretty much. And
Nice.
and then we like in the evening we had a, a dinner at there was a restaurant in the same building but like next to the arena. Uh, I think that was that day at least. Yeah, it should be. Uh, where they had like burgers and pizza and nice food, but it was like kind of fancy burgers and pizza, like and that was nice.
Yep. Not quite the McDonald's or.
Yeah, yeah,
What was the burger place in Stockholm again? I forgot what it was called. In middle Stockholm. Do you remember what it was called? The
middle of
restaurant.
the one we were at or the one
The one that's
that's
right next to the the first day entrance. There was like one
yeah,
of them right
yeah,
there.
right, yeah, that's where we ate. Yeah, that was what was that called again? I don't actually remember. Um,
I'm sure it'll come to mind at some point, or I'll have to edit
yeah,
the video to
yeah.
show what it's. But
But wait, no, now I want to look it up actually.
do you get to play Google it or no?
Oh.
Got him.
uh, wait, where here, and then right, Klang. Yes,
Yes,
that's the
yes,
one.
yes. Yeah,
Klang.
like I was actually kind of really surprised at how nice it was. Like I think it's probably in terms of like burgers, it was like my favorite one I've had a burger in ever. I
Yeah.
mean, it was expensive, of course, but it
Yeah.
at least it tasted really nice. Like the extra cheese was really
Yeah.
nice. One of my
Yeah.
definitely one of my memories is just eating
Hmm.
there like half the time. Quite funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so I guess now like the next day was the group stage, so it was the
Yeah.
first day. So
Hmm.
how were the nerves before, and if you how I don't know how much you can fully remember, but how did you find all the games and competing in the World Cup?
Yeah. I think I was a bit nervous, I think, but I went in with the mindset that I'm just gonna go in here, have a good time, play against friends, and do the best I can, and that's what I did. So yeah, I mean, maybe it didn't go great, but I'm still happy with my performance, and I think I played the best I could, and of course, my opponents were very, very good, and yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, like I say, there was so many top players. Like, can you remind us who was in your group again? So
yeah.
the audience know.
So world champion Consus,
That's a
among
start.
others. Then there was Trabota.
Yep.
There was Kodiak, Quark, and Jalotris. Is that everyone? Yeah, that should be six, right?
Yep. That's
Yeah,
six.
including me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's a
That
brutal
was it.
group. That is a brutal group.
Mm-hmm.
You've
Yep, yep.
you probably got two of the top 10 players in the world at that given time in your own
Yeah,
group. So battling
yeah.
battling even just a third, just to get that third place, on paper
Mhm.
is going to be difficult with Kodiak and Gelotris, and
Yeah.
Gelotris played very well as well, so he
Hmm.
clutched it up. But like, that's one hell of a group
Oh
to put
yeah.
into.
Oh yeah, I have to talk about my Delotrius game. So I won the moving, and then on the no move, I got him down to 11 HP,
Oh
and then
jeez.
he, and then I went Ecuador on Brazil and lost.
Oh
And
no.
if I would have won that game, I would have qualified.
Oh no.
But it happens, and yeah, that
Yeah.
was a big blunder for me. So,
Yeah,
but
I think a lot of players had those moments. I feel like Wolf had his
yeah,
New Zealand Irish gate moment where he saw an Irish looking gate and tunnel vision,
hmm.
thought it was Ireland, but there was a New Zealand
Yeah,
pole. But
yeah,
under
yeah,
the circumstances, just the pressure kicks in. And literally, talk about Ecuador and Brazil. Today, I had a seed where I was thinking, oh, is this just Ecuador? We've got rounded poles. It feels like, somewhere southern, like
yeah,
Ecuador, maybe with Colombia, but I think Ecuador. And then I was like, oh, but would it be? But I was like, oh no, if this is Brazil, I've been studying Brazil for the last month and a half. I've literally learned half the coverage, and if I get this wrong, I'm gonna be even more molded. So I'm like, nah, it's not gonna be Ecuador. Nah, I'm just gonna go Brazil. Ends up being Southwest Ecuador, exactly where my other
oh,
place was.
oh no,
So I can relate to the Ecuador Brazil pain.
yeah,
It's always good to feel like you're giving it your all,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's the key thing. Like everything you give, you let it out on the day, and that's all you can do. The worst thing is you didn't give it your all, and you look back and think, I should have tried harder, I should have cared more. But by
yeah,
that sounds of it, you really did what you can with the situation. It's like, right, I'm here now. Let's do this. Let's see how far I can go and try my best and see if we can progress quite far into the competition.
yeah,
And like I say, you got very close. And unfortunately, it's fine margins. But like I say, it was fine margins in a lot of those games, like the Qantas
yeah,
Fungus game in the semi-final. There's a lot of very
mm,
back-to-back moments, and there's so many amazing players that are so close to each other. There's always going to be those moments where neither of you are not 100% sure, or one of you is, one of you isn't. Like that's the beauty of GeoGuessr is nothing's a
yeah,
certainty at the end of the day. Unless you're
yeah,
in what's it Andorra, then you kind of got a pass. But it's all part of it. And like I say, to be given the opportunity to get invited and be
yeah,
part of it must be one hell of a feeling.
for
And
sure.
you will always look back on it. So how did you find it afterwards? So how did you find the rest of the day after the qualifiers ended and before the finals?
Yeah, it was great. Just like hanging out in the like lounge area and watching all the like the rest of the qualifiers. The what would it be like the
In the
semis?
playoffs, I think, weren't they?
Playoffs. That's the word. Yeah. Yeah, it was great. I was there with my friend and my sister as well, and we like and showed them like GeoGuessr, and they also really enjoyed it. And
Yeah, yeah, it was really fun. Like I was very happy, to be there as well. Like to watch it all on the screens,
yeah,
and like there were so many close games. Like the
hmm.
Topotic and Trabota game was very very intense to watch. Like two insane players
Yeah,
that in their own right you feel like could if they get into the quarters they both got the potential to go all the way. They're that
yeah,
that insane, and to see that
yeah.
game live and see all the pressure and all those 5Ks like when Trabota 5K that I think it was Vancouver Island round and then Trabota
Hmm.
5K in the Russia round, like to see that live, and it's just so fun,
Yeah.
and all the people you've been talking to in your VCs for for
Yeah.
years, just being all in one place and just chilling. It's you can't really beat it, can you? Like you're the best
Yeah.
company, you with your family
Yeah.
as
Where
well. It's like yeah.
were you at the Red Bull space?
No,
Okay.
I got an invitation, one of the three invitations by
Oh,
Wolf.
right.
Wolf gave it out
Oh.
to me and GC, I think, and we were
Ah.
there, so we watched the
Right.
whole thing. I was there, I was
Ah.
there. So
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't go to the Red Bull thing. I felt like I missed out on the free pizza though. I was like, why can't we get
Oh.
free pizza instead we get a packet of
Hmm.
crisps?
Yeah.
They're getting free pizza and I'm getting a packet of crisps. Like, hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was. I feel like it was just much more. I got talking to more people. Like, I think the first person I talked to was Gelotris, and then I bumped into a couple of UK lads, and Zigzag, Oscar, and it was really
Yeah.
nice. Then after the event happened, went wandering. I think it went to the pizza kebab place, of course. Did you go to the pizza kebab shop?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like, that was quite
Uh,
iconic.
don't think I don't think I went
Oh,
in
you missed
Stockholm.
out. You missed
Oh,
out. It was so
yeah.
good. It was so good. So yeah, we bumped into you at the end, and we were just sat on the side. I think I don't know if it was the night after or the night before. Honestly, both nights kind of blend into one, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like I think you were
Yeah.
playing some kind of game one of the nights.
Oh yeah, we were playing code names, I think. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yes. Was Japanese Transformers a code name for Havard by any chance?
uh, yeah, I think he showed a bunch of Japanese Transformers to everyone as well. Good
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
But the important question, did you have a kebab pizza
I
in
kind of,
Sweden?
I kind of was. Yeah, I did. It was I went to the
Oh.
kebab shop, but I didn't have a kebab
Mm-hmm.
pizza. So
Ah,
I kind
missing
of,
out.
I kind of shithoused it, as some would say.
Mm.
But
Ah,
the night kind of concluded quite quickly. I felt like, and then the finals
yeah.
day happened, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the state we're going through different entrance, and the arena. I was like, crikey, they're not messing around with the production at
Yeah.
all. I'm like,
Right.
crikey, and yeah,
Mm.
how did you find being part of the crowd and watching the finals? Like, how did you find that all being there in the
Yeah.
moment?
Yeah, that was incredible. Just the energy of the crowd was something I haven't experienced in like GeoGuessr, and like it was just yeah, it was so cool to like everyone there was hyped about GeoGuessr. Like this game I've been playing as a silly hobby for many years, and now it's like a big thing, and it was huge.
Yep. Like, just to think about, like, go back even like a year or 2 years, like how much the game's changed. It's
Yeah,
kind of
for sure.
mental. Like,
Mm.
we obviously had the era before, we had the Reddit era, I would say, and then
Yeah.
Battle Royales came out, Twitch exploded during COVID, and then all of a sudden we got all these thousands of discords, like new great places like
Yeah.
Plunkett, with tips and stuff coming
Hmm.
out. Like, so much changed and so much more knowledge has been shared in the community, as well as the build up within the community. And to see, like, from the starting point where I was taking part in Reddit Battle Royale tourneys, to watching and
Yeah.
witnessing something like in a LAN event, like an esports. To think that, like, and see
Hmm.
as you think, I would not believe it.
Right.
It's kind of crazy to put to think that you've been playing this game for 2 years, like you said. It's, like I say, it's a hobby, and just to see how much change, and for yourself to even be like part of the World Cup and take part and
Mm.
do the best you can, like, that will always be there. You will always have that at moments.
Yeah.
And like when the finals happened, yeah, like with the crowd, it was electric at times. Like,
Hmm.
my favorite moments in terms of like in-game stuff was the fungus round. Was when he like 5k that turkey round. Now that
Yeah.
was a loud one.
Yeah.
That was a huge one, and that was what a game that was,
Right.
and like just so many close games of the Blinky Radu, Promoter
Mm.
Radu, then obviously Konza's Blinky and
Yeah.
Konza's Fungus. Pretty much almost all the games
Yeah, all of them. Yeah.
were just so intense, and so the composure those lads had to perform with that
Yeah.
crowd is incredible, and
For sure.
you gotta respect it. Like, none of
Yeah.
us have been in that situation before. And if I was in that situation,
Hmm.
I'll be absolutely cacking it. I'll be going Poland on New Zealand, mate. I'll be that
Yeah.
stressed probably. So,
Yeah. I
like,
don't know if I could do it, honestly.
oh man, I mean, I was stressing just doing the pre-qualifiers last year. Forget about going to Stockholm and then doing it in front
Yeah.
of people. Like bloody hell, that's just a complete different thing.
Hmm.
It's just a complete. It's like half the skill is dealing with the pressure, and then the other
Yeah.
half is actually applying what you know in those pressure situations. It feels like, but yeah, what
Yeah.
and yeah, like obviously it ended and Connor's got the win and Connor's lifting the trophy for everyone. Like that picture
Yeah.
there's always everywhere now. Like if there's one
Yeah.
picture from 2023, it'll be that Connor's photo with the trophy, all of us behind him cheering it on, and yeah,
Yeah, the only
like
unfortunate part there is that that picture was taken right as I was bending down to like
oh
put down my drink, I think. So you can just see me like bending down and like you can't see my face.
yeah, but
But
you know you were
other
there
than
though,
that,
so
I was there. I was there.
yeah. Yeah, I think on the main photo, I think I was just out of shot a little bit, but on
Ah.
the Gelotris one, I'm in there with like my little tiny GoPro. I'm trying to take a picture. Like I'm not like cheering him, just on a GoPro. I'm like this guy's like
Nice.
usually say, "Oh, this guy's on his phone too much," but it's on a GoPro. It just looks so unorthodox. I don't think there was many people with GoPros doing this
Yeah.
at the event, but yeah,
Mhm.
like just to be there and Konzas played amazing and congrats to him.
Yeah,
Obviously
for
he
sure.
top player and to go through the qualifiers and then just continue to up the levels. You gotta
Yeah,
respect it, man.
I mean,
It's
well
really
deserved.
really well deserved. Yep. And yeah, like how'd you find the rest? The evening, of course.
Yeah, that was fun. Just like partying with everyone, and
Yep.
yeah, going to that pub.
Yeah. Hopefully not
It
getting
was
lost like
a good
me.
time. Yeah, no, thankfully I made it back to the hotel. No problem.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, like honestly, that night was crazy. Like I don't know how much
Yeah.
I drank. I drank a lot, and
Hmm. Same.
yeah, good, good, good. And
Hmm.
I didn't even have like food for like 8 hours. So
Oh.
before drink, so it really hit
Oh
me in the
no.
morning. It really hit me in the morning.
Right.
Let's just
Yeah.
say I was meant to go to Pizza Hut, but then I felt
Hmm.
really ill, and then I ended up having to go away from the Pizza Hut for certain
Ah.
reasons, and finding another one.
Mhm.
I'll let you
Mm.
connect the dots to wonder why.
Ah, I see.
But yeah,
Ah,
like it was still really good. Like I really enjoyed it, and there was so many funny
yeah,
moments, and just going to all those
yeah,
different pubs. I just having an
yeah.
amazing time getting to know all the lads because not everyone was at like I said, the Red Bull thing was happening, so I didn't really meet everyone. We didn't really meet everyone until the final day.
Right.
So it was
Yeah,
awesome to really bump into everyone there. It was difficult
yeah.
to bump into everyone because there were just so many people. Like it was overwhelming.
Hmm.
But like just that whole thing was crazy. And like I
Mm.
said, it was good bumping into you, good bumping into the Soil Cord legends, and
Yeah.
it was a blast. And how did you have much of a hangover on the day after, or were you all good?
It wasn't too bad actually. I don't know. It was also a travel day for like all of us, so
Nice.
I I probably didn't party as hard as I could have because of that, but it was still a really good time.
Yeah. Did you have to like get the? Was it in the morning you had to get the thing, or was it later in the day? To travel back.
Uh, I think it was like kind of early afternoon. Like
Okay.
maybe I think our plane was around 3. I went to the airport with Gelotus and Kodiak because their planes were at similar time
Oh, nice.
at
Yeah.
similar gate as well. So we all went there together. Yeah, they went on the same plane actually because yeah,
Nice. That's
that's where they live. I
yep.
think.
Yeah, and like for me, I had an extra day, so mine was just like
Yeah.
that. 80% of it was hangover day, and
Hmm.
20% was well, last thing I did before Stockholm was literally go back to the exact same pizza kebab shop restaurant, and me and Rainbow just talked for like a good hour and a half, just normal conversation, mostly Geo, but a lot
Yeah.
just a good chat. It was really nice to
Yeah.
get to know him a bit better and him to get to know me a bit better. Like it was really nice. And then that was it. I was like, right, okay. I booked with a couple of Danish lads and a couple of French lads afterwards for a little
Hmm.
bit, and but then I had to go to the airport because my flight I think was at like 5 or it was really early. Let's just say it was early.
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
so I didn't get any sleep. I think for 30 hours. I think.
Oh.
Quite a PB to be honest. It did kind of
Yeah.
temporarily fix my sleeping schedule, which is kind of impressive. Impressive, as us GeoGuessr players tend
Nice.
to not have the best sleep schedules.
Yeah. I know some people were joking that the person with the worst jet lag was probably harmless at the World Cup.
True, very true. Yeah, but yeah, like I remember like getting the play. I'm like, damn, if there's another one to watch, I would love to like, yeah, I feel like there's so many amazing players now. Like the next ones are just gonna get even harder and harder and harder to get in, and
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
always remember that World Cup. That was the first time I met everyone in person. It's the first
Hmm.
time I solo travelled to a foreign country. Like I've never left the UK on my own before. So that was the
Yeah.
very first time of me doing that, and like just to meet everyone for the first time was crazy. And yeah,
Mm.
I'll be keeping an eye on any events, whether it is the Geo to do, the GeoGuessr World Cup or what the French community what they come up with as well. Like it'd be nice to do more of that. I feel like that would be nice to give a try if that becomes a thing again one day. Like I'm
Yeah.
hearing a lot
Like
of positive things and things from it
yeah,
with a
that
lot of
Team World Cup
lads.
was a lot of fun. So I hope they bring that back or
Yeah,
something similar.
yeah, definitely. Like I would love to like team, especially a team with friends that I've been playing Jugas for a very long time. I think that would be really nice
Yeah.
just to do that. It doesn't have
Mm.
to be like super 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 competitive. Like yeah, I want to grind, I want to try, but it'd be like I say, I enjoy the team things more because oh my god, 1v1 stuff is the most stressful,
Yeah.
load triggering thing in existence.
Yeah.
It's
And
so
you
hard.
you have that one blank out moment, and then yeah, it's all over.
Yeah, it's over like
But then
really quickly.
you have your teammates that can ground you and be like, yeah, no, it's here. And
Yeah,
you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, for sure. And yeah, like just gotta keep an eye on more events. And
Yeah,
like I want to meet more people more often. In general, catch
yeah,
up. It'd be nice. Like I want to visit more countries, like for the first time as well. So be seeing if anyone's about when I travel to those countries. Be nice. Be some good.
yeah.
Be a good vlog as well. But yeah, like I just want to explore what I'm. And like I say, I have so many nice people in the community. Like nicest people I've met in person. Really like. It's
Yeah,
kind of really
for
unbelievable
sure.
how lucky we all are.
Hmm.
This community. There's not many communities like this, and we should
Yeah,
really be be very happy, and and we're very fortunate to have
yeah,
such a great bunch of friends to play with as well. So I've asked a few other lads from previous interviews recently, but it'd be good to listen to your advice since you've played Geoguessr for a very long time, played all the game modes. What advice would you bring to new players that just started playing GeoGuessr? What would you advise them on getting better at the game? And perhaps anybody who's coming back, like, what would your pieces of advice be?
yeah. I'd probably say like, of course, play a lot, like, and practice and things. But I really enjoy like playing with other people and like taking part of their knowledge, and then you share your knowledge with them, and like you like build off each other, and you learn and grow together. And like also Twitch streams, of course. Like you can always tune into. There's always someone live in the GeoGuessr category. You can always just tune in and like ask, "Oh, why was it there?" And people will generally be very helpful in chat, and also the streamer if they're knowledgeable. And yeah, just play the game.
Yep, yep. That's like very, very, very real and accurate. Like I feel like it's very important to just play, and like I say,
Yeah,
especially if you're new, like if someone just throws loads of guys into your face, you're brand new, you'd be like,
yeah,
screw this. I'm sticking to I'm sticking to something else.
yeah.
And I feel,
Probably not
yeah.
best to jump in the copyright bandwagon
Oh, oh no,
immediately.
the C word. Oh
Uh-oh.
no. Go-
Uh-oh.
Someone's in trouble. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like I feel like it's good, especially like to watch other people play, like you said, and play with others. Like
yeah,
building that attachment to the game is so important, and playing it.
yeah,
That's the you know. If you're just revising it, you're not really playing it. It's just you're not really getting much from it. It's gonna be harder to stick with it,
yeah,
and like especially like I said for new players, the main thing, like you said, playing gets you familiar with more places of the world.
yeah.
Realistically, there's two aspects. There's two general aspects. There's the learning aspect of what
Mm-hmm.
clues to learn, and there's
Yeah,
the vibe aspect. So you get
yeah.
familiarized with the general landscape, the general what countries generally look like,
Yeah,
and
and I feel like that's very difficult to learn, read in a guide or anything. Like you need that intuition. You need to like have seen similar rounds before to like get that vibe. Like yeah, this looks like here because it looks like it, and that you can only really get from playing, I would say. Okay.
nice. So I get another good reason why that's important is you'll see loads of tournaments where you'd think everyone's all about the region guessing, getting the right region of the country, and you still
Yeah.
see moments where they get the wrong country or the wrong continent at
Mm.
times. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy, like how important that aspect is. Like a lot of players I feel like really underrate the country identification aspect, even
Hmm.
when it's more difficult where you don't have the clues. Because if you
Yeah.
get good at GeoGuessr without using clues, that's even more impressive than having the clues on the round and using them.
Yeah.
Like if you don't need them, then that shows that you really have got really well familiarized with what places look like and what coverage looks like, and that's a real good
Yeah.
thing to have and to build up early. And once like you get to that point where you want to get better, you want to be more consistent by using clues that help make it easier, then you can do. And like I say,
Yeah.
it takes a long time. Like how long have we been playing? Like I've been playing for like 2.5 years, 3 years. Like how long have you been playing?
Well, I started in 2017,
Yeah,
but I haven't been playing continuously. I've probably like 2020
yeah,
started playing like continuously, pretty much.
yeah. So that's like 3 years. That's
Yeah,
almost four
yeah,
years now.
three,
Crazy.
mm,
I've got
yeah,
it's
three and a half.
2024. Yeah, yeah, close
Yeah.
enough. Yeah, but like to think of that, that's and let's say like even if it's just a year of you doing it every day, let's say that's still
Hmm.
a lot of time. You've built up a lot in that time span. For someone who just
Yeah.
started, you can't just learn everything in a year.
Yeah.
You have to take your time with it and that patience. And I feel like if you really want to get good one day or want to really improve a lot, you have to be patient. You have to accept when things go wrong, when things go well. Like, yeah, that's good, because you might as well
Yeah.
cherish those moments until you go mess up again on another round. But having that patience or accept where you're at and it taking time is is crucial really for you to continuously get better at the game and have fun whilst doing that. Like I say, that's really a really important aspect, and so many top amazing players have been playing for a long time because of that reason, because
Yeah.
they play for fun and they are patient with themselves. With when things go wrong, laugh it off. You either laugh it off or you mold it off, but you don't like make it get to you too much. And you
Yeah.
move on to the next round because there's always going to be that round where you're going to brain fart, or there's always going to be that round where you just have no clue where it is.
Mm.
So that acceptance is important. Like I say, the Twitch is really good as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I say, there's always someone on, and a lot of us. I don't know about you, but myself, I remember going on Twitch, and I learned so much
Hmm.
from watching people and listening to why.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't
I
purely just tip videos. So
Yeah, like I think I know all my bolas thanks to Geo Peter, pretty much.
yeah,
Like that was an important part of my early
battle
GeoGuessr
royales.
days.
Yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Battle Royale era, kind of gutted. What a throwback.
Yeah, true, true.
Still have the nostalgia of the what's it called, the UI where it's called like the layout and the way it looked like back then. the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, the nostalgia, man! It was
Mm.
so unreal. But
Hmm.
like even then, like you think bollards. Yeah, if someone just throws you, okay, learn all these bollards, and you're brand new,
Yeah.
you'd be like, dude, what even is a bollard? um,
Yeah.
first of all, and then I think like a good
Mhm.
example is I see a lot of pro players that can't differentiate the Hungary and the Croatia bollard, and
Mm.
that's quite really difficult to separate. It's to do with the
Actually,
top
I
of the.
don't know if I've
Oh,
given that much thought, to be honest.
I feel like it
Uh,
was known at the time, and then it kind of got lost because people don't really use it as much. So like
okay.
it's kind of like more like so it's kind of the hungry one's kind of like been squished at the top. So it's
Okay.
whereas the Croatian one looks more sharper edged.
Yeah. Okay.
So there is a difference, which there'll be some
Hmm.
overlap, but it's been
Yeah.
working, and I've been getting it right because of it, so we'll take it. But like it could be something like if you, some people will get struggle with like an Italy bollard to a I don't know a Austria bollard because they'll be like,
Mm.
oh, it's got the black cap, it's got the red reflector, and it's got the white stick. They're pretty much the same. But the
Yeah.
more you play, the more you will notice that it's slightly different. And like
Yeah.
playing on maps that help improve your tips, improve that skill set, like with the bars of the world, that is a great
Mm.
thing to start doing is if you find a map that you can practice things you've learnt, then that's probably better for you to learn quicker than to read 10 pages of a guide and just, oh, I'll remember it all. I'll just play GeoGuessr until it comes up. You know,
Yeah.
it's always good to keep an eye on those maps that are made for practice, and
Yeah.
whether they're for brand new players or for pro players.
Yeah, and if
So
you are using a guide, it's probably good to like play the game while having the guide beside you, pretty much, and like between rounds you can check the guide to see, okay, what was this again, and how do I implement this knowledge on this round, and
yeah, exactly. Like, and you can also
yeah,
test it without it and see how much you remember. Like, it's almost like a
yeah,
flashcard thing. You almost have to treat it like flashcards. So
yeah.
you try and
Use it
memorize it and come back.
interactively, not like study it and then you know it.
Yeah,
It needs to go back and forth with.
yeah. I'm not gonna act like I have the memory of of an Einstein, so
Yeah,
so yeah,
yeah.
like. And we're very lucky now because there's so many guides now publicly available that
Hmm.
almost anyone can access on. I think it's the region guessing meta library by Lupus and
Yeah.
Plunkett. Like you can
Hmm.
find all of that on Plunkett's Discord pretty much and Plunkett's guide. My
Yeah.
voice, bloody hell, my voice is kind of dropping. But yeah, like to see like how much information there is now, there's almost like no excuse. Like if you're starting off, you are spoilt. You are honestly spoilt with how much there is. Like two,
Yeah.
3 years
There's almost
back,
like information overload.
yeah. If anything, there's too much of it, and that's why
Yeah.
you have to be really careful of not just throwing
Hmm.
yourself in. And even myself, like if I want to study Russia, I'm like, bloody hell, there's so much meta dense stuff here that's making it
Yeah.
difficult. And then I think, oh, but
Hmm.
I'm doing bad in the US, I need to learn the US, or I have to learn Mexico. And they've got like hundreds of pages of guides. I'm like, this is too much,
Yeah.
like it's,
Yeah.
and even from like a pro player's perspective, it is still quite overwhelming if you
Yeah.
don't
For
take your
sure. For
time.
sure. Hmm.
And obviously for new players, they have to be careful as well. They have to be more careful because the things that players can learn quickly because they're more experienced with other clues. It's easier
Yeah.
to learn. For a beginner player, it's just overload. So, like I say,
Hmm.
it's always like you have to treat it like a pyramid and get to the more dense and complicated stuff later. Do what is easier and also more fun, as well. Like, there's nothing
Yeah.
worse than trying to learn something you hate. So, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like yeah, some great pieces of advice, Maccem, and yeah, like also I think another good thing to bring up is the moving aspect, because like I said, moving is pretty much almost like a different game to no moving. It's such a
Right.
different
Yeah.
approach, and of
It
course
definitely is.
yeah, and of course you've had plenty of games and practice on moving, and we can literally look behind you and see your community
Yeah.
world. What was it again? What was
That's
your thing?
that's my PB locations there. What is it? 3 minutes 26, I think,
Yeah, that
on
yeah,
community world.
that's just insane. Like for me, like, and I've been playing for GeoGuessr for 2, 3 years. I mean, I haven't really been playing moving as much as you, but I'll be happy
Hmm.
with a 20-minute time, bro. Like if I'm
Yeah.
getting 5k in 5 minutes, I'm happy with that because I'm just
Yeah.
not into the game. But to think like how many seconds around would that be? So to for your PB, how quick you had to have got done it per
Yeah,
round?
I mean, rounds are usually maybe like in the range of half a minute to a minute.
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
of course, there's a lot of resetting involved. Like you don't get this on any seed. It's very seed dependent, and you have to get very lucky with the locations. So a lot of speedrunning is really just reset until you get a quick 5K and then go from there.
Yeah.
Um,
What advice would you bring to anybody who's, recently got into moving, and what advice would you bring them to like get better at moving?
yeah. I mean, again, just play a lot, I would say. Like, I started out with moving. When I started playing Vegas, I mainly played like the daily challenge against a friend. That was really good. With like the 3 minute timer there, you have the time pressure and you need to like get close as fast as possible, and then just practice, I would say. But also it definitely helps to learn place names and general like there are a lot of clues that are useful for moving that aren't maybe as necessary for knowing an NPC. I'm also learning to read different scripts like Thai and Bengali and Khmer uh, are really helpful for moving and usually don't come up as much in no move. You don't usually have that much like written info in those ones, especially if you play more like rural rounds, which I know a lot of no move players prefer. So yeah, I mean there are clues that are mainly helpful for moving. Even like phone calls in some countries that like where it isn't as common. Yeah, it's not like yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like I say, like the like it exactly said like well, bloody hell, I said like 5 billion times. Um, so yeah, so it's quite interesting to see how different you approach moving, and like I say, playing with your friend. Like I think a few the lads I've been chatting to who started moving were doing co-ops
Yeah,
together, and
that's a good way as well. Um, Also, like a lot of moving clues are very country specific, so you kind of need to learn what clues to look for depending on what country you're in, and like also where generally you want to go in the country you're in. Like in Brazil, for instance, you'd probably want to go into a town to find a phone code, for instance, while in a country like let's say Turkey, you'd probably want to leave the town because you get the road number on the more outside the roads, on like the bigger roads outside cities, and yeah, and then in like for instance Germany, you'd want to get to the town entrance because that will have a sign telling you which district you're in, and then you also of course need to learn all the districts and like learning Kabupaten for Indonesia and things. And there's a lot of learning you can do to make moving quicker, but it's definitely not something you have to do. And again, it depends a lot on which country you're getting and which countries you want to be better at,
yeah,
I would say.
that's a very good point. Like there's some, like I say, with the country you've got, there's some things that you might want to look at, but aren't going to be as useful. It's like you're almost like wasting time trying to look for that information. And I feel
Yeah.
like for myself, doing moving at the beginning, I feel like I waste a lot of time looking for things
Hmm.
that aren't really useful. So
Yeah,
like,
you learn kind of like which signs will just be adverts that aren't helpful and which ones will actually have info and where the info will be. Like, for instance, addresses in the Philippines are on certain signs in certain places, but then you'll maybe, like when you're starting out, just look at every sign and then there's just adverts everywhere for things that aren't relevant, and then you'll waste a lot of time reading signs that don't give anything.
Yep, and I guess you could build that up with time. Like the more time you spend, you realize the more efficient ways of getting the
Yeah,
key information the quickest.
yeah,
And also another aspect is the pinpointing skills. So you might know where you
right.
are, but how do
Mm-hmm.
you like retracing your steps, line up the road, whether it's a bit, you can line up with working out which street you're on, buildings, and that's also
Yeah,
another challenge itself is getting that 5k down, which is very
that's
different
true.
to the no moving NPZ. Whereas the no moving NPZ, it's like it's a 4.9k, that'll do, Jeff, and
Yeah,
but for the moving, you want to get it down, you want to get that pinpoint, and that's also
yeah.
another challenge.
Yeah, it's a lot of lining up the road with the compass and just having an intuition for how far you went in the round. Like you might find, okay, I'm here right now, but then you return to spawn and you have to know, like, kinda, hey, which way did I go and how far and how did I get where I was and what does spawn look like? And then kinda build the intuition of like what something that looks like in game, how it will look on the map and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, but also I guess it depends on the country because if you've got a very big country, you might
yeah.
look at a road and think like that it's quite you felt like you've gone on for ages, but because you're in a big country, you've barely been up the road. So like
Yeah.
I guess like country size could have a little influence on how far you've probably gone. If
Yeah.
especially if it's on a main road as well. If you're on like a highway,
Hmm.
that can definitely be a bit more challenging to find out how far you've travelled from. But I guess like you can use the side of the road, like the junction and stuff like
Yeah.
that to retrace your
Hmm.
steps. So yeah,
Yeah,
like
and usually we play speedrunning on pinpointable maps like Community World, so you'll always have an off-road or a river or a railway or something to like line up the pinpoint that will look unique enough where you don't get confused. Like, is it this intersection or this intersection? Or it should generally be quite clear, like what the pinpoint is usually in those kind of maps.
yeah, but yeah, like I said, pinpoints world, you don't have to move. Well, you shouldn't be have to. It's built to not needing to move, so you can just try and find information and get to that pinpoint. And some locations are easier, some locations are harder, and I
Yeah.
think that's a good one, especially to get grinding. If you really want to get show get more practicing with the pinpointing aspect, I think that's a good one. Obviously, moving slightly different because you can apply that
Yeah.
pinpointing for no moving games as well. Whereas moving, it's also the retracing your steps, knowing where to go, knowing what to look for, and there's so many additional aspects that you just a lot of players who haven't experienced moving have experienced no moving NPZ have not experienced before, so it's like
Yeah.
completely new to them. And yeah, you got that some good pieces of advice, and like I say, I feel like with moving, it's also got almost as much learning TypeScripts and all that. That is, I've got to respect it. Fair play. How long did it take you to learn some of those scripts?
I don't know if like I wouldn't call myself fluent in like in any of them, but I can make out like uh, enough letters where I can generally understand what it's trying to say. And then, of course, it's mostly about finding, okay, what is an address on this big sign of letters I don't understand, and where is like the province name, and then try to figure out what it says exactly.
Yeah.
And like in Bangladesh, for instance, like I don't know Bengali that well, but I can usually character compare with the map to where I can figure out like what it's saying, especially if it's a bigger town. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I feel like you said, like probably like just knowing where to look and translate enough of the information is
Yeah.
enough to get you to know where you are. Like you don't need to read an entire book to know you're in Dhaka, do you? So there's quite
Yeah.
a few ways. What would you
Yeah.
say was the most challenging one to learn? Like out of all the scripts, which one was like, bloody hell, this is tough.
Khmer. Cambodia is good,
Yeah.
I would probably say. But also Thai,
Hmm.
kind of
I tried to
tough.
learn the provinces, the Khmer provinces, and look at them. But one thing I found an absolute pain is some of the
Hmm.
fonts that I was trying to learn from look different on the
Yeah.
buildings. I'm like, it feels like I've just wasted time
Yeah, they have
almost.
like pretty much like three different fonts or scripts or how you want to call it. Like it's the same letters, but they're written quite differently.
Mm.
And then, of course, Thai also has this more modern typeface where it looks more like Latin letters, kind of like it's trying to mimic that like modern like digital letters, and that I find really hard to read because a lot of Thai is knowing where the circle goes and like in relation to the letter, and then the new script doesn't have circles at all, and then it becomes really difficult to know what it's trying to say.
Yeah, honestly, Thai scares me. I look at that and think,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's gonna be a nightmare when I get to that at some point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like what would you say out of all of them was the most fun to learn or to get
I
into?
had a lot of fun with Khmer, even though it's hard, but it's quite rewarding. And yeah, I think, yeah, I think Khmer.
Nice, nice. And
It was fun.
obviously, India's got so many different scripts now as well. So like,
I'm not touching that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot. Like, it's good.
Another fun
Yeah.
one was learning the prefecture kanji in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yep.
So like you don't need like there are thousands of kanjis obviously, and I'm not gonna learn most of them, but just learning the prefixes, they're learning to read them. That's quite rewarding. You find them a lot on signs, and especially on like the octagonal or hexagonal prefecture road signs.
Yep.
They will have the prefecture on them in Japanese, and then you just need to basically learn pictures and associate them with words or prefixes, and then that was a lot of fun to learn.
Awesome. Yep. Yeah, and what would your if you had to choose one script, so let's say if it's your first script to learn that's not Latin, what would you advise someone to probably look into first? As you know, it's probably not too difficult.
Yeah,
Uh,
probably Cyrillic, because a lot of countries use it. It's not too different from Latin. And like if you know a little bit of Greek, like from maths and stuff like pi and sigma and things, uh, then it also helps with learning. What's it called Cyrillic.
yep. Yep.
And yeah, because again, a lot of countries you have Russia, Ukraine, Bulgaria, like Serbia, Mongolia, Kyrgyzstan.
Yep.
A lot of countries, and a lot of info in those countries relies on being able to read the script.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep, I started learning Cyrillic. I'm starting to get used to it a little bit, but it's like
yeah.
it takes time for it to be instinctive. It feels like it takes like 30 seconds to work out what it's saying, but at least
Hmm.
I know what it's saying eventually. But obviously, in a more time-consuming
Yeah.
thing, it's just going to take a lot
Yeah.
more
That just comes with
practice.
practice. Like if you just read a lot of like I actually learned the Cyrillic by looking at the Google Maps and just looking at looking at Russia on Google Maps and looking at the Russian name and the Latin transliteration, and then just comparing. Okay, this letter is this, and etc. And then just that really helped, I think, to learn Cyrillic. Just stare at the map.
Yep. I mean, like I say, you might not even be able to translate Cyrillic, but or just good scanning in general can really help you, and approaching that
Yeah.
is a good skill to have as well for moving. And
Hmm.
yeah, right. So, well, we've definitely been talking for quite a while. It's been
Yeah.
really fun, really good chat, and I've definitely learned a lot and some great pieces of advice from you as well. Some great memories from the World Cup. Any
Yeah.
final things you'd like to add before we end the interview?
Thank you for having me. um, yeah, the World Cup was so amazing, and yeah,
Yep,
it was a pleasure speaking.
yep, awesome. Yeah, it was great talking to you as well. And like I say, it's crazy how much the community's just grown in such a
Yeah,
short space of time. It's unbelievable. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks for accepting the invitation. It was a great chat. And yeah, maybe in a year's time, with the moving, like I can show some of those pieces of ice in action and
Yeah.
see how far it goes. But yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for watching everyone, and we'll see you next time. Yeah, of course.